here in Gor Kertajaya in Surabaya, Indonesia. The Knights take on the visiting Mono Vampire Basketball Club. Yoyo Sarmento on the mic and my partner Sajatam TK Kosambun. And TK, we have two very interesting teams with very different winning streaks and losing streaks.
Yeah, both coming off different spectrums of the winning and losing side. As you mentioned, the Mono Vampire coming off a 3-game winning streak, and on the other side, the CLS Knights coming off 3-game losing streak. And this is a very important game for both of them with their playoff chances on the line as well.
You mentioned their playoff chances. The Knights are currently 9-9. They had that very hot winning streak, 7 straight games, and now they lost their last 3. What happened the past 3 games for them?
One of that aspect was, of course, playing away from home. They were doing really well at home, 6 straight wins on their home court right there. They've been communicating well on defense. They've been doing well to rebound and box out and just trying to control their turnovers. But once they get out of their environment, playing away from home, whether it was that 3-game stretch against Malaysia, against Singapore, and against Mono Vampire, they were a little bit uncomfortable in running what they were usually accustomed to.
And if you're the Knights, you're happy to be back on your home floor with your home crowd. And who needs to step up for them here today?
Well, a lot of their bench guys really need to step up in production, whether it's going to be Sandy Kurniawan, who's coming off the bench, or Febri Utomo, who's going to be coming off the bench for Coach Brian Rosen as well.
And as we look at the team standings, the Knights are 9-9, while Mono is at 5-12. Now, the Knights are sort of in the middle of the pack, and creeping in are Westports and Mono. What does this win for Mono or for the Knights mean for their respective teams?
Well, we feel that these 3 teams, the Knights, the Westport Malaysia Dragons, and the Mono Vampire, they are among the teams competing for those final 2 spots in the playoffs. This final stretch, there will be a couple of games played between these teams, and that'll mean a lot about who is going to get those 2 final spots.
As we take a look at the bright orange Mono Vampire Basketball Club, they are on a 3-game winning streak, as we've mentioned. What's been working for the Mono Vampire Basketball Club?
Well, the recent changes in their lineouts, whether it's getting Romeo Travis or Tyler Lamb getting into their lineup, you have to give credit to their management for continuously making those changes, not falling into the prey of just lulling into their current form and just making changes to get back into the win. As you see here, the CLS Knights, their recent game against the Dragons, they lost. It was a close game, but they were unable to finish down the stretch.
Maxi Escher had 27 points, 10 rebounds, and Maxi Escher became the 19th player to join the 1,000 points club in the ABL. Too bad it ended up in a loss. Chris Eversey was the hero over that game for the Dragons.
Yeah, and of course, Jonathan Wong also came off the bench, provided 22 points for the Malaysia Dragons. The CLS Knights have got to focus a little bit more on that defensive side of the floor and stopping players who might not really be consistent scorers on the other side to stop them from getting their points on that end.
And this would take a look at the previous game of Mono. They played the Knights actually in the last game in last February 9 in Bangkok. So that was a rout for the home team.
And that was a great statement win by the Mono Vampire that they are still in this playoff race. Everyone contributed, especially Michael Singletary there. As you see on screen, 1 assist away from a triple-double. That's the kind of form that Singletary has been since the Mono Vampires have gotten on the streak.
And you mentioned in your keys to the game, the second chance points. Actually, in that last game, Mono had 19 second chance points, and the Knights only had 6.
Yeah, and the Mono Vampire, they're really using their size advantage to their strength. Tyler Lamb, Moses Morgan, Romeo Travis, Malcolm White, Singletary. They aren't really big giants, but they have great size, and that's an advantage over the opposing team that they have.
And the motor that keeps the CLS running in their winning streak actually was Wong Wei Long, but he hasn't played great the past couple of games.
Yeah, Wong Wei Long, he was on fire during that 7-game winning streak, shooting around 40% from downtown. Recently, he's been a bit out of form. He's been struggling especially from beyond that line, but I think that's just the kind of shooter that Wong Wei Long is. He gets into his hot streaks. Sometimes he hits those cold fronts as well, but that's just something you have to live with. And Wong Wei Long brings a lot more than just scoring from downtown. He's a great facilitator as well and a defensive stopper.
And you gotta love what about Wong Wei Long is he just keeps on shooting.
And it's just confidence for him. We've seen him ever since the 2nd season of the ABL. There's just nothing that can bring him down to the point where he feels like he's not confident to keep taking those shots.
As we take a look at Max Esho, as we've mentioned, he's part of the 1,000 point club in the ABL. As we take a look at the stats, 23.1 points per game, 9.3 rebounds, 2.7 assists, and 40% from the three.
And that's just a club that continues to keep on building, continues to grow 1,000 points in the ABL. It just shows how bigger the league has grown throughout the years. Maxi Esho is just another great player to have raised the ABLC, 19th player here with 1,000 points, and we feel like there's going to be a lot more to come.
And this is just his second year, I believe, right? Last year with Saigon Heat.
Yeah, and he just did a great job playing for the Saigon Heat last season. Just scored from everywhere, still continuing here. I think he improved a little bit more from the three-point line as well. Just been an all-around talent for the CLS Knights.
And we're just about to start. We're just waiting for. We still have time to take a look at Michael Singletary from the Mono Vampire Basketball Club. From all the changes of Mono, Mike Singletary has been a constant force for them.
I just feel that Michael Singletary, he's been unleashed a little bit more with the change from Travis Romeo to Jason Brickman. Before the change, Jason Brickman was the starter, the initiator of the offense, but now without Brickman, I feel like everyone on Mono Vampire is able to start their own offense, and Singletary has been a beneficiary of that as well.
And after that win over the Knights, Singletary actually mentioned they're doing point guard by committee now with the departure of Jason Brickman.
Yeah, that's something a lot of players can take on that role for the team.
And that's it. We're just about to bring you the Mono Vampire Basketball Club and the BTN CLS Knights Indonesia. And the referees for tonight's game from the Philippines, from India, and Singapore.
Number 7, Michael Singletary. Number 11, Moses Morgan. Number 13, Chana John Klahan. Number 22, Frederick Lee Jones. Number 24, Romeo Van Travis. Number 33, Nopon Saintong. Number 36, Sorot Sunton City. Number 65, Tairawat Chantachon. Number 69, Dorongpan Apirong Pilaichai. Number 77, Chichai Ananti. With the assistant coach, Tomkat Singhasene and Supakati Tongtip. And the coach, Douglas Clark Marty.
This is your starting five.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Surabaya, please welcome Suharto. Number 18, please welcome 1,000 points, Maxi Esso. Please welcome our coach, Coach Brian and Coach Kojo.
Introducing referee start for this game, Rizwan Ali Mike from India. First umpire Mike Sorrentino from Philippines, and second umpire Ron Fox from Singapore. With the commissioner Tito Susilo from Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem. Hadirin sekalian, kami mohon berdiri untuk kita bersama-sama menyanyikan lagu kebangsaan kita Indonesia Raya. And this is our national anthem, Indonesia Raya.
Welcome back to Gor Kertajaya in Surabaya, Indonesia. Let's take a look at the starting five of the Mono Vampire Basketball Club. No big changes for them.
Yeah, at this point of the season, I think both teams have found their comfortable starting lineup. I don't think there's going to be any more changes until the start of the playoffs.
The Knights starting lineup, of course, Dal Watkins, Douglas Herring, Wong Wei Long, Brandon Jawato, and the recently included member of the 1,000 Point Club, Maxi Esho. That's a strong starting five. These two probably have two of the strongest starting fives in the league.
Yeah, and it'll be up to their bench to come off of that spot to produce for these two coaches, Coach Brian Rosen and Coach Douglas Marty.
Two coaches, really one of the two nicest coaches also. All the coaches have been friendly, of course, but those two have been extra friendly in the past couple of games.
Rarely with a mean streak. With everyone, actually, with the referees or with anyone. Just two really nice guys.
Actually, here in Gor Kertajaya, the Knights are actually 7-2 at home. Away, they are 2-8, and this has been the prevalent theme for them. We've been talking about this during pregame for them.
Yeah, the CLS Knights, they are one of the best teams in the entire league playing at home. They just have a really nice fan following. The crowd really supports them, and they're just really in their atmosphere here at Gor Kertajaya. They score 5 more points better when they're at home. They allow 10 less points, and I think the biggest difference for them is their three-point shooting. They're shooting nearly 43% at home, but when they're away, they're barely touching 30% from beyond the arc.
And we mentioned the coaches more. If you're Coach Brian Rossum, you see the stats home and away. What's your message for them?
Well, first of all, you have to at least maintain what you're doing at home before you start worrying about what you're doing away. You don't want to give up that advantage that you have playing at this court by focusing too much when you're away from here. But when you get out of Surabaya, Coach Brian Rossum has got to tell his players just stay focused, just play to your game plans. Don't let it get to your head that this is not our house anymore. And it's an edge that some of the players that are not used to this kind of home and away format in the ABL. They have to get used to it. Some of these guys are veterans like Wong Wei Long or Maxi Esho. They're used to it, but some of these guys have really got to adjust in this kind of format.
And speaking of the home and away, actually Mono also has its fair of trouble in away games. They are 1-7 away, 4-5 at home.
Yeah, but one of those things is that you have to take into consideration of their recent roster changes. As mentioned, Travis Romeo, Tyler Lamb, Freddie Lish. Everyone's a lot of the players are coming in to new settings, and you just kind of have to throw some of the past records away. And it's just a new start. The 3-game winning streak recently against solid opponents as well. It's just considered a new start right now for the Mono Vampire Basketball Club.
And this is the 4th meeting between these two ball clubs. The first meeting was won, first two actually was won by the Knights, and then the most recent loss came in the hands of Mono.
Yeah, and the first 2 games, I think those were really important wins for the CLS Knights against the Mono Vampire, and they're going to start feeling the importance of that victory once we head into the final stretch here, as both teams are really going to go neck and neck down to the final playoff spots.
All right, take a look at the crowd. A very, very happy crowd. You know, they're itching. They're waiting for their home team to start knocking down those threes.
It's just been a while since the CLS Knights have played here, and you know that the fans are just waiting to cheer on their team. Whether they're going to be down, whether they're going to be up, this CLS Knights crowd has just been so faithful to their squad.
As we've mentioned, 3-game losing streak for the Knights. Aside from Wong Wei Long, who's another guy that needs to bring his A game today?
I feel like Daryl Watkins has really got to step up his game in general, not just from this recent 3-game stretch. He really needs to step up and bring more defensive intensity, more aggression on the boards. I think you can get the points from Maxi Esho. You can get the offense initiated by Douglas Herring, but the Knights really need that inside presence by Daryl Watkins to step up.
Daryl Watkins, of course, the past couple of games, as TK mentioned, had some trouble shooting the basketball and not getting his usual amount of rebounds. And talk about for Mono, what do they need to do to keep their winning streak going?
They just have to continue to share the ball among everyone on their team. As you mentioned, the point guard situation is up for grabs every time the game starts.
And here we go, the Knights and the Mono Vampire. Mono takes the tip, and we are off. Tyler Lamb handles the basketball, goes to Travis versus Herring in the post. Travis with a fade. Rebound to Wong Wei Long. And these two teams actually have a lot of very interesting matchups, imports versus imports, for former Heritage imports and whatnot.
It's just going to be, as you said, these two teams have 2 of the best starting lineups in the entire ABL, so the first few minutes are going to be very entertaining and could very well dictate the outcome of the game later.
TK, you saw the last game between these two teams. What's the most interesting matchup from that previous meeting?
I feel like Freddie Lish against Wong Wei Long is going to be one that really dictates the outcome of the game. Whoever can control the flow of the offense more, that's going to be really important.
And that was Malcolm White putting 2 points on the scoreboard for Mono. Here are the men in orange once again on the attack. Here's that matchup, Lish versus Wong Wei Long. It's Travis versus Jawato. Travis muscles his way inside. No go. Rebound battle. And a foul is called. And Malcolm White cannot believe it.
But that's Malcolm White, though.
Malcolm White's puts on a very big smile off the court, but once you're inside the court, it's no friend zone for him.
A really fiery, intensive player.
Travis with the jumper. That's a miss also.
That's usually his shot, though, and we've seen Travis already miss 2 shots from that range.
So it's Jawato versus Travis. Herring with the leather. Nowhere to go. Oh, beautiful pass inside to Maxi Esho.
Douglas Herring is such a great point guard. He sees the entire floor. Easy pass for him right there down into the middle.
And just as I've said, he had nowhere to go. What do I know? So roughly 2 minutes have passed, and it's all even up at 2. Oh, beautiful move by Lamb to White. Misses the dunk.
A little too emphatic there by Malcolm White, and that's going to cost them on the other end as they tremble back.
Esho, all alone. Sledgehammer from Maxi Esho.
Maxi Esho is like, that's how you do it.
He was left all alone, and the big man knew what to do with the basketball. They trap Lish.
However, this is a pretty slow-paced start for both teams. I feel like the CLS Knights and the Mono Vampire are used to playing a more fast-tempo game, but maybe they're just feeling each other out what kind of game they're going to be playing.
And again, the previous game, Mono blew the Knights off the gym. So you gotta play into that factor. Mono gets a steal. Travis to Singletary inside.
That's something that the CLS Knights have got to watch out, those turnovers, especially when they start from Maxi Esho, who's bringing the ball up by himself and turning the ball over. There's not many players who can run back down on defense to help him in transition.
It's Watkins versus White. Watkins. Oh, beautiful defense by White. Knights get the basketball back. Esho from deep. And that has got to be a push. And Malcolm White did not appreciate the shove from Daryl Watkins.
On the Mono Vampires, I mean, you have Romeo Travis, who doesn't really show that much emotion. Tyler Lamb keeps on a straight face, but here, like, Malcolm White, he's showing what he feels almost every time he's on the court.
You know, with Mono, they have 3 world imports, 3 former heritage imports. There got to be a lot of different voices in that locker room.
Sure, but seems like there's an offensive foul called there, so a lot of whistles getting blown here in the first portion of the quarter.
That is an offensive foul on Freddie Lish against Wong Wei Long. Of course, Freddie Lish and Wong Wei Long go way back. One is from Singapore, the other from high-tech Bangkok City.
Yeah, and last season actually played for the CLS Knights as well. So, and he was a fan favorite here with the CLS Knights.
That's right.
Always an entertainer.
Herring with the basketball against Tyler Lamb. So Watkins sits. That's the Groho. Picked up by Tyler Lamb. To Travis. Travis, easy 2.
And again, we mentioned there, the turnovers, they are going to pay if they cannot handle the ball and come back down and on transition early, as they've seen there.
Oh, beautiful fake by Wong Wei Long. They go to the corner, Jawato. That's usually his shot, gets his own miss. Could not get the putback. But there's Nugroho.
Nugroho there saves Brendan Jawato from his miss 3, and that's something that the CLS Knights are missing. Jawato, his 3-point range, he's been struggling in the past few games.
So the pace is significantly slower. Good observation, TK. Freddie Lish, oh, beautiful moves with the sidestep.
And he's celebrating that as well. Always the showmanship from Freddie Lish.
Two teams feeling each other out. Herring versus Lamb. Whistle. And foul on Lamb.
And that's something that Tyler Lamb has really got to watch out for. And Coach Douglas Marty has to manage that foul trouble by Tyler. He's been limited by fouls a lot of games since he's coming here with the Mono Vampires, and it's caused the Mono Vampires to not be able to use him to his full potential.
Timeout on the floor. It's 8-6 in favor of Mono Vampire. We'll be back. Welcome back to Gorkar Tajaya, part of ABL Saturday. Earlier today, we saw a good one, Saigon Heat versus Formosa Dreamers.
Yeah, entertaining game, entertaining, and Murphy Bernatowski taking advantage of the turnover by the Formosa Dreamers and just closing out that game. It's always fun when the Formosa Dreamers play against the Saigon Heat and they continue just to produce good games.
Always neck and neck between those two teams.
Yeah, we hope we get another barn burner here between the Mono Vampire and the CLS Knights.
That's right. So back here, Watkins already has 2 fouls. That's why he's on the bench. That's why Nugroho is in.
But so far, Nugroho able to produce an offensive rebound and 2 points, filling it up nicely for the CLS Knights in Darryl Watkins' absence.
Shot clock reads 10. Herring. Jawata versus Travis. Esho putting the moves on Singletary. Oh, nearly falls. Herring puts it up. Almost knocks it down. Lish. Beautiful pass. Oh, what a pass from Freddie Lish to Romeo Travis.
Freddie Lish is doing everything right now, and he's showing it and celebrating it as well against his former team.
4-point lead for Mono. They go to Esho, to Herring. He attacks. Beautiful pass. Nugroho gets the deuce.
Coach Rosem getting quality minutes here by Nugroho coming off the bench.
You gotta love that about Fermin Nugroho. Anytime he's in the ball game, he produces.
And he's shown the potential to do that. It's just a matter of getting him in the right situation.
And of course, as we praise him, he gets called for a foul on Malcolm White.
So that's a good sign for Nugroho to not back down against a physical player like Malcolm White.
So for Mono, no one really in foul trouble yet. But as you've mentioned, Tyler Lamb is one of those players that's got to keep an eye on his fouls. Referee just reminding Malcolm White to put his jersey, tuck his jersey in. 14 to work with for Mono. Top of the key, Singletary, straightaway triple, that's good.
He's been on fire during the stretch, and it's still going. You just can't leave a guy like Mike Singletary to get his feet set and launch it from down there.
Singletary putting up 26 points per game. Nugroho to the corner, to Wong Wei Long. That's good.
Fermin Nugroho with a nice assist down in the corner. Great recognition by the big man, stepping it up for the Knights.
And if you're Wong Wei Long, that's gotta feel good. Another foul called on Nugroho.
And that's gotta hurt, especially when he's just been playing so well.
So if you're Coach Brian Rossum, what do? You have 2 on Watkins, 2 on Nugroho, and just battling for position there.
And Brian Rosem does not have a lot of big bodies down there on the bench. The next guy down the line is a really young player in Echo. It's just a shallow front court, but he's got to try to figure it out now with foul trouble in the first quarter.
So I believe Fermin Nugroho will stay. Yes, he will. He will stay with 3 minutes to go in the first. White misses both, to the delight of the home crowd here in Gorkar Tajaya. Herring versus Lamb. Herring to Nugroho. Nugroho, that's a miss. Rebound, Esho. Esho, still no go.
And that's another part of production that the CLS Knights are missing, those points from Maxi Esho.
Another whistle. But this time, I believe it's on Tyler Lamb.
It's a loose ball foul. There are a lot of whistles getting called here by the refs in this first quarter alone. The teams have got to adjust.
The Knights were about to lose it when they thought initially that the foul was going against their way.
So both teams going really deep down their bench. Tirawat Chantachon and Darongpan Apiromi Laichai already coming off for Douglas Marty.
2:40 remaining. Herring goes to the other side to Jawato. Misses on his tray. Singletary trapped. Travis. Beautiful pass back to Singletary. Singletary gets the 2.
Singletary just lighting it up. I think that's already a seventh point in the first quarter. That's someone that the CLS Knights have really got to figure out how to shut down.
Wong Wei Long is denied at the rim. Lish on the counter-attack. Touch-on. He is stripped by Douglas Herring.
Great defense, and that's why Douglas Herring has been recognized as one of the better defensive players in the league. What's Douglas Marty there asking why there wasn't a foul called earlier on Freddie Lish down the court by Furman Nugroho. Nonetheless, the ball goes to the CLS Knights.
So Douglas Herring actually second in steals, 2.7 per game. Second only to Trayvon Hughes of the Saigon Heat at 2.79.
Two great lockdown guards here in the ABL.
Herring tries to pass it, but the ball is picked up by Mono. Foul on Sandy Cunyawan.
Again, another whistle. And then Coach Brian Rosam goes down his bench a little bit further, bringing in Mo Saroni, a big man for Furman Nugroho.
I believe that's the 6th team foul called on the Knights, while the Mono has 3. So a lot of fouls, as you mentioned, here in the early goings.
Mono, though, unable to make the Knights pay on this side of the floor. Another missed free throw attempt, this time by Mike Singletary.
Singletary is actually 3 for 3 from the field. And goes 1 for 2 there. So under 2 minutes remaining, Douglas Herring will run the offense for the Knights. Wong Wei Long versus Aparong Bilanchay. Looking for a friend. Herring. He has 5 to work with. Herring. Oh, nice pass inside. Esho with the reverse.
Just beautiful, beautiful play there by Douglas Herring. He was drawing in the defense, saw the double team, and looked for the open guy. Great, great pass to Esho.
Singletary spins. Blocked by Esho. Cunyawan. Straight away 3. That's good.
The first three-pointer by the three-point specialist, Sandy Cunyawan, ties up the game at 16.
Travis, that's his shot. A bit long. Knights have a chance to take the lead. Esho goes up and is fouled by Travis.
Knights here picking the momentum. It's already a 5-0 run. Can add up to 7 here, and they can take the lead at the end of the first.
And this is Knights basketball. You know, during that seven-game winning streak, the Knights were pushing the pace, running at every turn.
And that's why it looked a bit awkward during the start of the game when both of the teams were playing at a slow pace. Now that the tempo is picking up, it looks more like the CLS Knights game.
And the game of the Knights, Esho going for the layup or the dunk. Cunyawan at the corner. So this is, so far, at least the latter part of the first quarter, it has been Knights basketball. Esho goes 1 for 2. But the Knights have a 17-16 lead with under 30 seconds remaining. Singletary drives inside, misses, but Chanchachon is there.
Just so difficult to stop Michael Singletary, and even though he missed the layup there, it just left an opening for Chanchachon with that offensive rebound.
Wong Wei Long to Saroni. Esho puts it up. Air ball. 1.2 seconds remaining. Travis beat the buzzer. bank shot does not go. And after the first quarter, it's the home team, BTN CLS Knights Indonesia, trailing by a single point against Moto Vampire, 18-17.
Kasih pertanyaan yang gampang-gampang aja. Hadiah persembahan dari Bank BTN. Ini ada hadiah dari BTN. Ulang tahun keberapa Bank BTN? Ulang tahun keberapa tahun ini Bank BTN? Ada yang tahu? 60 salah. CC namanya siapa CC? Foto di tengah. Abi. Itu sudah di situ. Abi. Foto di tengah. Foto di tengah. Foto di tengah. Sebelah sini siapa yang kaos? Suaranya Surabaya. Suaranya. Kiri atau kanan? Kanan atau kiri? Hah? Lebih ramai sini ya. Angkat. 1, 2. Oke, jangan kejar suaranya, kita masih ada 3 quarter lagi.
So back here in Gor Kertajaya in Surabaya, Indonesia. Second quarter about to go underway between Moto Vampire and the BTN CLS Knights Indonesia. And actually today is the birthday of Sandy Kurniawan.
Yeah, the big 33 for the three-point specialist. Already with 3 points on the board. He's coming off the bench today, but Coach Brian Rosen has really got to expect big games from Sandy Kurniawan if the CLS Knights are going to make a deep playoff run.
Kurniawan, a 3-point special, loves those corner triples. Here we go, second quarter. As we mentioned, Kurniawan doesn't get that one to go, but the Knights regain possession. Herring attacks. Herring flips it up, and that's a no-go for Douglas Herring. Chanchachon, beautiful pass from Romeo Travis, and Chanchachon delivers.
That's something that Chanchachon has improved as the season gone by, finishing on those layups.
Saroni against Travis. We go to Esho. Esho has room to work with, and he makes the pay and one from Maxi Esho.
Just a smart move there by Maxi Esho. He could have just accelerated all the way to the tin, but just decided to stop a little bit there down the middle. As you can see here, just waited out, able to step this side, get the foul, and another chance at one more point.
And that was a good read from him. He saw that Chanchachon was trying to get the charge and moved past that and got the bucket.
Yeah, and that's why he's one of the best scorers that the ABL has seen in actually the entire history of the league.
Completes the N1 opportunity. We're all knotted up at 20 apiece. Travis in the elbow. 10 to go in the shot clock. Beautiful pass again to Chanchachon. Misses the gimme. Chanchachon again.
Chanchachon already with 6 points on the board here for the Mono Vampire. Great outing from him to start the game, but Apirom Vilaichai called for a foul.
We mentioned early in the first quarter that the Groho was a good substitution in place of Daryl Watkins, and now it's Kirawat Chanchachon doing the dirty work for Mono.
It's a great quality minutes for Chanchachon. He's been struggling earlier in this season, unable to get into the form that he was in last year that pegged him as one of the most promising prospects in the ABL. A good start for him here in this game.
During the ABL finals last year, he was a very good contributor for Mono against San Miguel Ala Pilipinas.
And they'd really hope for him to do the same here in the latter stages of the season.
Daryl Watkins is back on the floor with 8:40 to go in the second. We go down low to Herring. Herring flips it up. The bang in the bucket for Douglas Herring.
Herring just keeps on punishing up Hiromi Laichai. 2 straight possessions to draw fouls on number 69 of the Mono Vampires.
Post up, too strong, too big, too good, Douglas Herring.
Up Hiromi Laichai tried to get a little bit sneaky, hooking on that arm. Didn't get away with the refs.
And Douglas Herring has been scoring, being more aggressive on the offensive end the past couple of games. So his assist kind of dipped, but his scoring has increased.
And that's something that the CLS Knights need. We know that Douglas Herring is a pass-first guy, but they also need that firepower from him as well.
Malcolm White, 8-second shot clock. Malcolm White, beautiful jumper.
Again, for a guy that plays just as physical as Malcolm White, he has a really soft touch, whether it's from the hook or those mid-range jumpers.
Esho. Stay up, no go. Freddy Lish races down the other end. Freddy Lish from deep, knocks it down.
And Freddy Lish is just feeling it today. He's just in another kind of zone. I think it's just playing against his former team that brings out the best in him sometimes.
Darryl Watkins to Jawato. Jawato uses his speed. Great burst of speed from Brandon Jawato.
And Brandon Jawato, he's a sneaky, good penetrator. And the CLS Knights have won some games with him just driving straight to the basket and getting those layups.
Oh, Lish toying with the basketball to the corner. And a foul will be called on, I believe, Sandy Cornyawan. Timeout on the floor, 3-point game, Mono 27. It's a beautiful warm evening here in Gor Kertajaya in Surabaya, Indonesia. The Knights are back home. Joyo Sarmana on the call and my partner, Sajutam TK Kosambun. Great action so far, TK.
Yeah, and both teams are doing a great job of sharing the basketball as well. Majority of the shots have been assisted. 12 field goals made, 10 assists from Mono Vampire, and 10 field goals made on 7 assists from the CLS Knights.
Lish, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Lish, does he know it? 2 seconds. Lamb puts it up, nearly knocks it down. Rebound goes to Herring. Herring pushes to Esho. Esho all the way!
And that's just poor recognition of time by the Mono Vampires. They pay for it on the other end.
Okay, here we go. Darryl Watkins having a little conversation against Malcolm White.
Malcolm White just back on the floor. Instantly called for a technical there.
So those two have to be separated. Romeo Travis talking to Malcolm White, trying to calm him down. Watkins is on the bench, but still jawing at White. So the refs are trying to talk things over. Who deserves what? Who needs to get a tech?
You gotta really love Romeo Travis there playing the peacemaker, trying to just keep everyone calm. He's just someone that really loves to just play the game of basketball. He just wants to see this game done over with.
So it's a double technical foul. One on Watkins, one on White.
Yeah, that's why Watkins is back on the bench. So sorry, third personal foul.
That's a very good point, TK and Romeo Travis. And you want that veteran leadership, just calm your teammates down.
Yeah, and that's why they brought him in.
Lish from deep. Nearly knocks it down once again. Freddie Lish has been aggressive so far. Wong Wei Long waits for his teammates. Herring to Jawato. Jawato again with that burst of speed. Gets clobbered inside. No call. Tyler Lamb try to answer with a three. Tyler Lamb. And Coach Brian Rossum can't believe no foul was called on the other end against Jawato.
Neither can the crowd coming off that double technical. A lot of contact.
And we need to take a break. Things are getting chippy here in Gorakhpurthachaya. 30-26 in favor of Mono. So if you've just joined us here in Gorakhpurthachaya, things have been chippy. Double technicals were assessed on Daryl Watkins and Malcolm White. And just before the timeout, Brandon Jawato was denied as he was trying to attack the basket against Tyler Lamb. The crowd is livid.
And that was interesting to see which approach both teams would come out after the double technical by both teams. I mean, some teams would try to play a little bit more aggressive to test the officials, whether they would call the game more tightly or not. Mono Vampire, they attempted 2 long shots from the three-point range, and they got one made out of it. But it's an interesting approach for both of the teams coming out of that kind of situation.
Esho to Wong Wei Long. He's covered by Lish. Wong Wei Long gets closer. Jumper was a little bit long for Wong Wei Long. Freddie Lish, 5 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists across his name. Travis. White is positioned against the Groho. White with the jumper. No go. Stolen. Got a foul. A whistle is called. I believe it's going to go on Maxi Esho.
Quick hands there by Freddie Lish. Nice job of sneaking behind Maxi Esho. Gonna see if that was called an unsportsmanlike foul or not.
Lish and Esho are actually pretty good acquaintances. We saw in the shoot around, they were just laughing it up together.
Yeah, those guys are really close to each other, playing in the league for multiple seasons. Maxi Esho a little bit confused on why the foul was called on him and why it was a foul of sorts. We'll see the replay again.
And as we see the replay, the crowd also saw the replay. And they too cannot believe it. That was the foul called. So it is an unsportsmanlike foul. You cannot do that. The refs will call that a little war between Esho and Lish.
It's a friendly rivalry between the two players. Of course, as the tension keeps on building and as the crowd's just gaining momentum, this is the kind of game that the refs are going to call more tighter. They want to avoid players getting more physical and just control the game to be within the rules of sportsmanship.
And the Knights, after those 2 free throws from Freddie Lish, will regain possession. And they have a 6-point lead. 5.5 minutes to go in the second. Tyler Lamb, his 3 is a miss. And we saw that. We all saw that. Douglas Herring put a little thrust on that pass.
Malcolm White doesn't like that, obviously.
Herring gains speed, goes all the way to the cup.
Malcolm White attacking straight and getting attacked by Douglas Herring 2 times in a row.
So we need another break from the action. It's a pretty close game. Welcome back to Gor Kertajaya. This is the 4th meeting between the BTN CLS Knights Indonesia and Mono Vampire Basketball Club. And this is what you would expect from 2 teams trying to make a strong push towards the playoffs.
Yeah, and they're just showing it that they really want this game, especially the Mono Vampire. They want to even out this series and inch a little bit closer to that 8th playoff spot, especially after the Westport Malaysia Dragons beat the CLS Knights the other day. This is really an important game for both teams.
And a little wrinkle, if Mono falters in this game, San Miguel Ala Pilipinas will gain a playoff, or an early playoff. So San Miguel Ala Pilipinas at 14-3 will get a playoff if Mono loses this one. Travis to Lamb. Lamb wide open. He makes them pay with a 3.
And that's just a picture-perfect horn setup there. Freddie Lish taking advantage of the screen, the ball rotation, getting to Tyler Lamb in the wing spot for the 3.
Jawato was all the way blocked, but a foul is called. Brandon Jawato will take 2. With things getting a little bit chippy, you need a veteran presence like Travis, as you've mentioned. But for the Knights, who's going to be that guy for them?
I feel like Douglas Herring has got to do a better job of stepping up for his teammates, telling his teammates to calm down a bit, play the game, just as he's been doing himself. But he has to remind his teammates to play along his game as well, instead of just doing his stuff alone.
It's a fine line, really. You're trying to not back down against an opponent, and then trying to ease the tension with your teammates.
And that's why it's such a valued characteristic that teams look in a player.
Oh, nice pass from Freddie Lish, but Tyler Lamb could not deliver. Wong Wei Long with the basketball. He needs to get going. Esha thought about the 3. Takes a step back 3. No go. Rebound to Herring. Herring attacks with a reverse. Douglas Herring.
Great patience there by Douglas Herring. He had a shot at the layup, but saw the defense closing in on him, waited for the second attempt.
So unlike the 3 previous meetings, it's been a close affair as Malcolm White gets the deuce. Three and a half minutes to go before the halftime horn. Jawato from deep, too strong.
The Knights have just been struggling from downtown, only 2-11 so far in this game. Something that they've relied on at their home court.
And as we talked about earlier, they shoot around 40% from 3 here in Surabaya.
Yeah, just a far cry from what they usually do.
Oh, hard foul. White against Herring.
Douglas Herring. Probably a part of this plan of penetrating straight at Malcolm White was drawing that kind of contact.
We saw immediately right after the hard foul, Herring did not look straight into the eye of White. But he knew he knew what that strong drive meant.
And again, Romeo Travis going straight at Malcolm White, trying to calm down his teammate.
And also Romeo Travis, before that little conversation with the fans, he also talked to the ref. So he's talking to White, he's talking to the fans, and he's talking to the ref. Multiple multitasking for Romeo Travis.
This is a
Here's
great
the replay.
peacemaker. This is a guy you want as an ambassador for your team, I guess. Able to talk everyone down.
So a little mind games being played by both teams, trying to get that edge.
Now Travis and Tyler Lamb trying to gang up, trying to get the influence of the referees here.
And that free throw by Douglas Herring makes it a 4-point game. 3 minutes to go in the first half. Singletary, he had a strong first quarter. Chantachon looks it up and is fouled.
Chantachon continuing to produce quality minutes off the bench, attacking the basket aggressively. But for the Mono Vampire, the most impressive player so far, I feel, has been Freddie Lish, who's done a little bit of everything, scoring, setting up his teammates, and even corralling some of the boards. It was a great all-around performance, and as I mentioned earlier, he just really enjoys playing against his former clubs.
There's a different skip to his step, talking about Freddie Lish.
Just a guy that enjoys having that chip on his shoulder.
Also, a person who's playing great. Romeo Travis, it's only 2 for 9, but he has 4 rebounds and 5 assists for Thailand.
Yeah, and Romeo Travis doesn't care about those points as long as he's setting up his teammates or doing other stuff to get the win.
Wong Wei Long. Triple, no go. Esho with the offensive rebound. They reset. Jawato muscles his way inside. Foul is called on Michael Singletary.
And that's what Coach Brian Rosa might want to see more out of Brendan Jawato, just aggressively attacking the basket. As the refs call a tighter game, they need more fouls on the Mono Vampire, especially from the core players like Singletary and Romeo. This is a great move there by Jawato. He'll get 2 chances at the free throw line.
You know, Jawato is one of the strongest and quickest locals. He uses his body well, uses his speed against lower defenders, uses his bigger body against smaller defenders.
And he pays a lot of attention to his body, his conditioning. He spends a lot of time in the gym.
Jawato, this is his first year in the league, coming out of University of Hawaii. He played in the IBL, local league here in Indonesia. There we go, 3-point game. They go to Singletary. Singletary. Hook shot is good.
And Singletary's been a bit quiet after that first quarter, getting back into action here.
The hoop and the harm for Michael Singletary.
Singletary's just a great pure scorer. We can score in multiple ways on the floor. As you see there, you can score on the post. You can score from the 3-point line. Get him in transition. Just any way you want him to put points on the board, you can rely on him.
Completes the 3-point play. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining, and it is a 6-point game in favor of the visiting team. Bullet pass inside. Esho with the reverse.
Esho's done a good job of making those cuts. Just scoring off those passes. He's been keeping the Knights within shooting range.
What a find by Douglas Herring on that play. Back to a 4-point game. They go inside Singletary, bottle up. Wong Wei Long pushes the leather. He's got Jawato on the right wing, doesn't go with it. They go to Saroni. Saroni nowhere to go. Wong Wei Long takes a closer look, misses on the jumper. Rebound Esho. Shot clock to 10. Herring, jumper, short. Herring, again. Herring finally knocks it down. And a look of disbelief from Douglas Herring as he went up. He believed he got fouled. 2-point game, 1 minute and 11 remaining. Good evening, ABL fans. Welcome back to Gorkar Tejaya. The pace has significantly picked up as we close out the first half here, TK.
Yeah, and the CLS Knights, they just do a good job of closing out quarters. As we saw in the first quarter, they got the run by Maxi Esho, and here they're getting a run by Douglas Herring, just able to stay within the game. Despite their shooting, they're not shooting well as they usually do from the field. They're just relying on these bursts late in the quarter to get within the game.
Beautiful set run by Mono. Out of a timeout, Lamb misses his three. But that was a beautiful play by Mono.
Douglas Herring, though, with those quick hands, tries a three here.
Misses, but again, second chance goes to the Knights. Wong Wei Long, too strong on the three. Rebound again by the Knights. Knights reload. They go to the elbow. Jawato. Yes, sirree!
Finally, for the Knights, just that offensive hustle. They already have 11 offensive rebounds here in the first half. That's just how they've been able to get back into the lead.
And the crowd is up on their feet. Knights up by 1.
You just gotta love the energy that the crowd just feeds onto the team, and you know how much it powers them up.
And we have a slight delay. That's, I believe, Michael Singletary. We have to check the replay. What happened to him? I hope nothing serious. And the crowd, you gotta love that. Crowd applauding Michael Singletary. He seems to be okay. Got up on his 2 own feet. Of course, for all ABL fans, we hope that's nothing serious for Michael Singletary.
It's a good sign as long as the player is able to just get up and walk off on his own. It means that there's probably nothing serious. Maybe they keep him on the bench for precautionary issues, but probably nothing that'll be long lasting.
And he will sit for the remainder of this 29.09 seconds. We don't want anybody to get hurt, of course. Things are getting heated, but of course, nobody wants to get too physical. Here's the replay. So Singletary challenged that jumper by Herring, but he slipped.
Seemed like probably just a slip and falling on his side. I don't think should have been anything that was strained or twisted. Probably just a hard fall, nothing more.
Lam and Herring having a conversation. As we go to the final 25 seconds of what has been a very entertaining first half between these two proud ball clubs. Lam has 10 seconds to work with on the shot clock. He attacks Travis. What is he gonna do? Travis, they go to the corner. Moses Morgan. Triple no-go. Knights have time. Wong Wei Long flips it up, and that is how the first half will end. The Knights will regain the lead in the last few possessions, 42-41.
And again, the Seahawks Knights is finishing strong at the end of the interval to get the lead before the halftime buzzer. It's going to be great locker room atmosphere for the home team.
1 point game here in Gorkirtejaya. 20 more minutes of non-stop action. We'll be back after this.
Untuk berada di lapangan memberikan secara simbolis bola. Silakan bola. Iya. Kasih tepuk tangan buat PT Wikaryantino. Hadiahnya sebentar lagi ratusan juta ya. Kita main 3 point. Oke, foto. Iya ya. Sekali lagi kami ucapkan terima kasih atas dukungannya dan tentu saja terima kasih atas hadiah-hadiahnya. Sekali lagi hadap ke sana, hadap ke kamera. Sekali lagi, ya. Dan ini adalah bentuk ucapan terima kasih dari BTN CLS Knights Indonesia kepada
What makes a champion? Passion, grit, determination.
A challenge can make or break you. Work hard in silence. Let success be your noise.
Never stop, you can only get better. The only one that can hold you back is yourself.
I'm a warrior, I put my war paint on.
We are the composers of our own destiny. Nothing is out of reach if we dare to dream the impossible. Believe the unbelievable and never take no for an answer. Because greatness is in all of us. For we are all champions.
Each week we get better and better plays in our ABL Top 10. Here at number 10 for week number 12 goes to the Singapore Slingers Delvin Go, who goes to the spin cycle and absolutely loses. The Singapore Slingers with that sweet looking layup. Delvin Go instrumental in helping the Slingers pick up the hard-fought win against the Saigon Heat as he gets all the way to the rim and kisses it off the glass. One of the reasons why the Slingers are currently at number 3 in our ABL standings at 10 wins and 7 losses. We go to number 9, where the Saigon Heat were moving the ball beautifully, and Murphy Bernatowski thought he was all the way to the rim when from out of nowhere a wild Jaron Young appears for the chase down block. Big time defensive play from the world import of the Singapore Slingers. At number 8, look at this gorgeous dipsy-do layup by Maxi Esho off the BTN CLS Knights, looking like the doctor with that scoop in the paint. Beautiful move from the long-haired warrior of the Knights. At number 7, we go to Stadium 29, where Mono Vampires Mike Singletary showing the Slingers how it's done on defense with not just 1, but 2 blocks in the paint against Delvin Go and John Fields III. Big time effort for the import of the Mono Vampire, one of the reasons why they are currently rising in our standings. At number 6, it's Hong Kong Eastern taking hold of that spot courtesy of this pretty pass from Tricky Ricky over to Sam DeGuara for that monster throwdown. Hong Kong doing everything they could to stay against the defending champions. However, they would fall, but they are currently still in great position for the playoffs. In number 5 slot, we go back to the Slingers as Xavier Alexander connecting with Jaron Young for the Eye in the Sky throwdown. Big lob there by the X-Men, and Young with the hops to finish in style against the Heat. At number 4, we stay once again with the Lion City's finest, as Mono Vampire looking to spread the ball around, but from out of nowhere comes Delvin Go to block that signature move of Malcolm White, the dunk. That did not work against Delvin Go's defense. At number 3, Mono Vampire once again, this time with a crafty, nifty Freddie Leash going with the between the legs, breaking down the double team and getting all the way to the rim. Check it out once again as Leash with the handles, splitting, scoring, everything done Freddie Leash style for Mono Vampire. At number 2 is this excellent Eye in the Sky play once again by Hong Kong Eastern. This time with O'Darian Bassett triggering the fast break and a half-court lob over to Marcus Elliott for that alley-oop finish. Gorgeous teamwork being displayed there by Hong Kong Eastern as the two talented world imports getting the Southorn Stadium hyped. Hong Kong Eastern was looking to upset the defending champions, but there could only be one, and this slot belongs to Mike McKinney as he throws up one of the craziest shots this season and sees it fall through the net. What a shot there from Mike McKinney, and what a game it was for the reigning Heritage MVP. McKinney finishing with 29 points all in the first half. The Dragons had absolutely no response for McKinney, who helped the Black Bears to the win and finished in number 1 in our ABL top.
What makes a champion? Passion, grit, determination.
A challenge can make or break you. Work hard in silence. Let success be your noise.
Never stop, you can only get better. The only one that can hold you back is yourself.
I'm a warrior. I put my war paint on.
We are the composers of our own destiny. Nothing is out of reach if we dare to dream the impossible. Believe the unbelievable and never take no for an answer. Because greatness is in all of us. For we are all champions.
Each week we get better and better plays in our ABL Top 10. Here at number 10 for week number 12 goes to the Singapore Slingers' Delvin Go, who goes to the spin cycle and absolutely loses the Singapore Slingers with that sweet-looking layup. Delvin Go instrumental in helping the Slingers pick up the hard-fought win against the Saigon Heat as he gets all the way to the rim and kisses it off the glass. One of the reasons why the Slingers are currently at number 3 in our ABL standings at 10 wins and 7 losses. We go to number 9, where the Saigon Heat were moving the ball beautifully, and Murphy Bernatowski thought he was all the way to the rim when from out of nowhere a wild Jaron Young appears for the chase down block. Big time defensive play from the world import of the Singapore Slingers. At number 8, look at this gorgeous dipsy-do layup by Maxi Esho off the BTN CLS Knights, looking like the doctor with that scoop in the paint. Beautiful move from the long-haired warrior of the Knights. At number 7, we go to Stadium 29, where Mono Vampires' Mike Singletary showing the Slingers how it's done on defense with not just 1, but 2 blocks in the paint against Delvin Go and John Fields III. Big time effort for the import of the Mono Vampire, one of the reasons why they are currently rising in our standings. At number 6, it's Hong Kong Eastern taking hold of that spot courtesy of this pretty pass from Tricky Ricky over to Sam DeGuara for that monster throwdown. Hong Kong doing everything they could to stay against the defending champions. However, they would fall, but they are currently still in great position for the playoffs. In number 5 slot, we go back to the Stingers as Xavier Alexander connecting with Jaron Young for the Eye in the Sky throwdown. Big lob there by the X-Men, and Young with the hops to finish in style against the Heat. At number 4, we stay once again with the Lion City's finest, as Mono Vampire looking to spread the ball around, but from out of nowhere comes Delvin Go to block that signature move of Malcolm White, the dunk. That did not work against Delvin Go's defense. At number 3, Mono Vampire once again, this time with a crafty, nifty Freddy Leash going with the between the legs, breaking down the double team and getting all the way to the rim. Check it out once again as Leash with the handles, splitting, scoring, everything done Freddy Leash style for Mono Vampire. At number 2 is this excellent Eye in the Sky play once again by Hong Kong Eastern. This time with O'Darian Bassett triggering the fast break and a half-court lob over to Marcus Elliott for that alley-oop finish. Gorgeous teamwork being displayed there by Hong Kong Eastern as the two talented world imports getting the Southorn Stadium hyped. Hong Kong Eastern was looking to upset the defending champions, but there could only be one, and this slot belongs to Mike McKinney as he throws up one of the craziest shots this season and sees it fall through the net. What a shot there from Mike McKinney, and what a game it was for the reigning Heritage MVP McKinney, finishing with 29 points all in the first half. The Dragons had absolutely no response from McKinney, who helped the Black Bears to the win and finished in number 1 in our ABL top.
Of the Knights, take a look at the stats.
Yeah, that both teams aren't really shooting extremely well, especially the Knights locked down to only 39% so far in the game, and 3 from 17 from three-point range. As we've mentioned, this is not the usual Knights from downtown that we've seen, but they've held on to the 1-point lead here at the halftime break because of their offensive rebounding. They have 12 offensive rebounds compared to 14 defensive rebounds by the Mono Vampire. That's almost 50% offensive rebounding rate. That's a really absurd offensive effort on the boards, and that's how they've been able to stay within this game and actually take the lead. Douglas Herring with 3 offensive boards, Maxi Esho with 4 offensive boards, Mosaroni off the bench, 2 offensive boards. That's something that Brian Rosen has got to be really proud of from his squad in the first half.
And if you've just joined us, it has been a very, very intense first half. Couple of double technicals, shouting matches here and there, veteran players trying to calm each other down. And what do you think, TK, was the message from Coach Douglas Marley for Mono and Coach Brian Rossum for the Knights?
I think for both coaches, they have to tell their team that, yes, you have to be more careful with the physicality coming in to the second half, but you can't back down from the other side as well. As we've been saying the whole game, this is an important matchup, and the very moment that you lose focus of how big this game is, that is when you start to slip behind, and it might be the reason why they lose this game.
As we take a look at the fouls, actually, Daryl Watkins has 3 personal fouls. Malcolm White has 3 personal fouls. And those two have been at the forefront of the jawing, shouting, and whatnot.
Well, that's where the contact happens on the floor, right down there in the paint between those two inside presence guys. So that's where you expect the most conflicts and altercations to begin with.
And if you're a player from either side, will your mentality change? Will it be more observant how the rest will call it, how the opposing team will dictate the pace? What's your mindset heading into this last 2 quarters?
Well, as veteran guys like Romeo Travis or maybe Douglas Herring, they won't get rattled much. And their job is to control other guys who are maybe a bit more prone to being swayed by the emotions of the game, like Malcolm White or Daryl Watkins or Brandon Joato. Those guys, they would tend to sway through the emotions of the fans of the court. And those veterans have got to really keep these players in check to stay within their game plan and just play the way that they are expected to play.
Third quarter is underway. Yoyo Sarmenta once again on the call. My partner, Sajatam TK Kulsambun. Here we go. Second half underway. Immediately, Watkins and White drawing for a position. And steal by Watkins. And on the other end, Watkins goes to Herring. Herring flips it up. His shot doesn't go. Watkins with offensive board. And you talked about that, TK, offensive rebounding.
Yeah, and they continue to do that. But what I really like from the Knights is that they seem to be focused on attacking Malcolm White on offense. They know he has 3 fouls. Both Herring and Watkins is going straight at him on that possession.
Here's Lish. He had a good first half. Double pump from Freddie Lish.
Still stylish, Freddie Lish. Evading that defense and getting a shot in.
I don't know what's more entertaining, his shot or his post-shot celebrations. With the fade, Joato.
Both teams coming out on fire here in the third quarter, making all of their shots so far.
Travis loses the leather, but a foul is called. And you're right, TK. The pace has picked up from that second quarter. It was a slow first quarter, and then things escalated quickly.
Brandon Joato, that should be his second personal foul. Unable to secure precision against Romeo Travis. He's going to go to the line for 2 more free throws.
And Travis hears it from the crowd. Travis has 4 points and 2 of 9 shooting. But he does have 5 rebounds and 5 assists. Leaves that short. Just like that. A minute and a half has passed here in the third canto. Joato uses the Watkins screen. Esho from the elbow. Esho's 3 is a miss. Ball nearly stolen. Joato is beating his case. Refs say it stays with the men in orange.
CLS Knights still able to find their range from 3-point land. That's something that they really need to pick up because it's their main offensive weapon.
Oh, Freddie Lish doing a rondo.
He's continuing to put on a show here. Freddie Lish now putting the scoring on his shouldering loads.
Joato with the leather. They go to Watkins. And it's White's turn to get the tip. Oh, bullet pass. Herring to Maxi Esho.
How many times have these two connected?
Travis on the other end. Back and forth we go here in the third.
Now Douglas Martin has really got to make it a priority for the Mono Vampire to just put a guy on Maxi Esho whenever Douglas Herring gets the ball.
Herring. Ooh, tries to go to Joato. But Watkins recovers and gets the putback.
Daryl Watkins starting to show up here in the third quarter. Limited to minutes in the first half with foul trouble.
So the 3-point shot has not been there for the Knights, but Douglas Herring has been dishing to his teammates. White, Travis to Singletary. Great passing from Mono, and Michael Singletary buries the triple.
Still in hot shooting form, Michael Singletary.
Back and forth we go. Watkins. Shot clock at 5. Wong Mei Lo has to put it up. Misses on that gimme. But the ball will stay with the Knights with 14 on the shot clock.
That was great play by Wong Wei Long. Just get the separation and get to the basket. Only a little more to get to put the ball in. But still great moves to get his opening there.
Wong Wei Long 1 for 8 so far. Go to the corner. Esho to Herring. Herring, jumper. That's good.
Knights starting to find their shooting touch. Douglas Herring wasn't hitting those shots early in the first half.
Freddie Lish splits the D. This is the layup though. Wong Wei Long, alley-oop.
It's a little bit too flashy there. Mono Vampire looking to punish the Knights.
Great read by Singletary. That was a nice interception from Singletary.
Coach Brian Rosa might not be pleased with how that position went down. Still too close of a game to gamble on those kind of plays.
What will you think will be the deciding factor? It's a 1-point game, and looks like it's going to go down the wire. I know it's still early in the third, but it's back and forth so far.
I think it's going to come down to that three-point shooting. As you mentioned, the CLS Knights, that's been their offensive weapon all season. If they can't figure out how to get those shots to go down, it's going to be a struggle to close out these kind of grind-out games.
Errant pass from Tyler Lamb. Singletary was not looking. And to your point, TK, as we've mentioned earlier in the coverage, the Knights have been deadly here in Gorkert Jaya. Watkins underneath. Great defense from Travis and Malcolm White. Singletary to Lamb. Lamb goes baseline. Back to Singletary. Great defense on both ends. Herring slices his way. Douglas Herring.
So now as the pace picks up, both teams getting a little bit more sloppy, trying to get their chances in transition.
They go to Travis. Travis versus Jawato. Travis muscles his way. Travis.
That's just plain pure bully ball. Romeo Travis just recognized the size advantage he had on Jawato. Back down. Easy two for the forward.
And Jawato, of course, there's no easy picking, but you know, Travis was just too strong on that play. Turnover.
Jawato trying to force his case a little bit too much. Trying to back down Singletary.
Break into action, 4:49 left. It's been back and forth so far here in Gorkert Jaya. The home team, the Knights, have a 54-53 edge. A very engaging crowd here in Gorkert Jaya. The crowd is out tonight to welcome home their BTN CLS Knights Indonesia. First home game since that 7-game winning streak. And they are in a battle against the Mono Vampire Basketball Club. Travis. This time can't muscle his way against Esho. They go to the corner. Lish doesn't go. Esho speeds up. Slices the defense. Maxi Esho, maximum effort.
Maxi Esho just prances up the court like a gazelle straight to the basket. Once he picks up that dribble, it's just so difficult to stop.
We have the three-point game is not working for the Knights. Their running game is doing wonders. Travis will go to the line, I believe. He was fouled on that play.
The refs will call it on Maxi Esho, it seems. Seemed like going to be between Esho and Daryl Watkins. Esho picks up his second personal foul.
So that's his, as you mentioned, Esho's only second foul. Jawato and Wong Welang also have two. Here's that replay. Travis tried to squeeze his way against two World Imports. Coming up on 4 minutes remaining here in the third. Still a nip and tuck affair between these two proud teams. Esho goes baseline, tries the reverse.
And that is a big call there. Malcolm White just can't help but smile it off. That's his fourth personal, and he knows it.
So Watkins with 4, and now Malcolm White with 4.
The crowd just lets him hear it. They know that Malcolm White has got to sit down after that fourth personal foul. Douglas Marty has to keep him in the game. But still, they can bring in Tirwat Chantachon, who has been having a moderately good game. Quality minutes off the bench, 7 points, 3 rebounds.
Esho knocks down the first. So very interesting development. No Daryl Watkins for BTNCLS Knights, and no Malcolm White for Mono Vampire. Esho goes 1 of 2. Singletary. It's quiet so far. Nice feed to Chanchaton.
Just continues to come up with big plays. Tirwat Chantachon diving straight from the screen. Easy 2 points.
And that's what you want. Oh, Malcolm White, foul trouble. Chanchachon filling in the void nicely.
And again, there with solid defense, solid help defense at least on Maxi Esho. Esho eventually gets the foul, but still a great effort to not give him the easy basket.
You know, we talked about the players, coaches adjusting in the second half. Probably the refs also want to call this a little bit tighter after that very tense first half. Esho sidesteps. Herring jumper, short. Singletary shovel pass to Travis. To Chantachon, loses the leather. Jawato has it. Herring. Back outside. Esho step back. Finally a three-pointer.
And that's huge. That is a huge shot. They've been lacking those three-pointers. Just as the game was tied, that gives them a 3-point lead.
Apro Vilanchai slashes inside and one.
Perfect answer by the Mono Vampire, just driving straight to the basket. Apro Vilanchai, perfect time to score his first 2 points.
So right after a booming triple from Maxi Esho, Mono has the answer. Darongpan Apro Vilanchai. No fear as he attacked the basket on that play. Mono recovers. Singletary against Nugroho. Jawato tried to double up, and that double team worked perfectly for the Knights. Esho, no space on that drive, has to give it up. Jawato spins, flips it up. Cannot get the bucket to go, but a foul is called, and that's going to be on Travis.
It's just how many times have we seen Brendan Johato just driving away into the paint like that and drawing fouls on the Mono Vampires? That's just something that's really helped the Knights just regain control on their offensive side in this game.
You gotta love Joato's aggressiveness. Last game, he had 10 points, but only shot 23% from the field. So the best way to recover from your bad shooting is go straight to the basket to try to get some easy shots at the line.
And he's a really good free throw shooter as well.
And the crowd makes a roar as a substitution is going to be made.
Fan favorite here, February Utomo, making his way onto the court. He's a guy that needs to log in solid minutes, especially as Sales Knights will not be using Arif Hidayat.
And you know, Utomo can provide that spark. He's shown that during that win streak by the Knights. Chatachon, 15-footer. Battle for the ball. And the leather will stay with Mono Vampire.
Tough break there by Maxi Esho. Almost got control of it. Unable to keep possession. And the Mono Vampires will get it back with 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Moses Morgan against Cunyawan. Moses Morgan could not get the fall away to go. Coming up on a minute and a half remaining. And what has been an exciting game so far. Herring to Cunyawan. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Herring has to move. Oh, short stab from Negro. No go. Esho. Again, those second chance opportunities for the BTN CLS Knights.
It was pure hustle by Maxi Esho and also being in the right place at the right time. It's already his 5th offensive board. It's where a majority of his points has come from in this game, aside from the backdoor cuts.
So Mono has done a great job defending the 3. They've limited the home team to 4 of 19 shooting from deep. But they have not guarded the offensive glass.
And sometimes that's just a product of them being a little bit too confident in their size advantage. As we mentioned, their massive front line, Romeo White, Singletary, even when they bring down the bench players, sometimes they lack to box out the CLS Knights on the other end. That just leads to offensive boards by the opposing team.
So the leading rebounder so far for the Mono Vampire is Chavez at 7. First one is good for Maxi Esho. Maxi Esho goes 2 for 2. A minute remaining in the third. Tyler Lamb slicing and dicing. Bucket doesn't go, but he will troop to the line, try to shoot 2.
That's another missing component from the Mono Vampire game, Tyler Lamb. A quiet 6 points so far, 2 threes on 6 attempts. Hasn't really been able to get his game going that much.
Tyler Lamb, of course, is a former Heritage Import MVP back with the Hong Kong Eastern Long Lions, when they won the title 2 years ago.
Yeah. And he's had some big games with the Mono Vampire. 24 points in his debut.
That's that one. 4-point game. Knights are pushing once again. Utomo, crossover. Utomo flips it up, offensive foul. He had a step on Apro Miranchai, just a little bit too aggressive.
But still, gotta like that confidence out of Utomo.
See, he got the first step and just shoved Apro Miranchai out of the way.
Yeah, trying to force a little bit too much contact out of the defense. Refs were quick to pick that up.
Tyler Lamb, the corner, Apro Miranchai. Triple doesn't fall. Travis with a rebound. They go to Morgan.
Finally, his first points of the game, Moses Morgan. Easy bucket down low. Good pass by Travis Romeo.
Herring on the other end, goes all the way.
Yeah, he's got to watch out for that. Does not want to get a technical call for complaining.
Travis, up, and the basket doesn't fall. So you see both teams, after even a made basket, they are pushing, they are hustling.
And yeah, that's just how they want to pick up the tempo. Douglas Herring coming out of nowhere to just bother that shot. Unfortunately, he picks it up as a foul.
Travis knocks down the first three-point game. Two for two for the big man. So deficit down to 2. With 23 seconds to go, shot clock has been turned off.
It's an important 23 seconds here. You want to go into the fourth quarter in a tight game like this with as much momentum as possible. Big possession by the CLS Knights.
They go to Herring with Catalyst on the offensive end. He has 8 seconds. 7. Esho, straight away 3. Yes, sirree! Maxi Esho!
Statement. Point by the CLS Knights. Big shot by Maxi Esho.
Oh, smiles from Maxi Esho as he gives the Knights a 69-64 lead. 10 minutes of regulation left here in Gorkartajaya. We'll be back. The final quarter between Mono Vampire and the BJN CLS Knights Indonesia. Welcome back to Gorkartajaya. One more quarter to go here in Surabaya. Yoyo Sarmento on the call. My partner, Sajatam TK Coach Sambun. This is the fourth and final meeting in the regular season. And what a game it has been so far, TK.
Yeah, it's been really tight throughout the game, but the biggest difference, I feel, is the CLS Knights have just been doing a great job of finishing quarters The first quarter ended with a run by Maxi Esho. The second quarter also a big shots by Douglas Herring, and the third quarter a big three by Maxi Esho to get the lead up to at this point.
So the scoring and the pace has significantly picked up from the first to the third, and we can expect an exciting finish here. So the first meeting actually between these two teams was back in December 12. 80-75 was the final in favor of the Knights. Of course, things have changed so much between these two teams since then. Last two meetings have been blowouts actually. One by the Knights and the other by the Mono Vampire. Esho, short stab is good.
Great fun by Utomo, just driving down the lane, recognizing the defense collapsing over him.
Moses Morgan sees an opening, goes to Singletary. Singletary straight away, three is good.
Continues to be money from that range. Singletary, 3 for 3 from downtown.
You know, Singletary is the leading scorer for the Mono Vampire. It's been a quiet 17 points for him. So effective. And Esho will troop to the line once again. He has 27. My bad, 27 points for Maxi Esho.
Yeah, and those are not quiet points from Maxi Esho. He's dropping big shots throughout the entire game, as you saw at the end of the third quarter. About to get a chance to add 2 more from the free throw line.
Last 5 games, he's been averaging just 21 points. Now he's up to 28. So you see the difference for Maxi Esho in today's game. He wants to get this win for his team.
It's not just only been the scoring for Esho. He also has 8 rebounds, 6 of them on the offensive side, and 4 assists to go as well.
Moses Morgan bottled up. Tyler Lamb tries a long bomb, knocks it down.
And the CLS Knights have got to watch out for that. That's 2 threes in a row already by the Mono Vampire. They can catch fire in a hurry.
Herring between his legs, flips it up and in.
Herring just makes a lot that happens on the court look so easy. Tyler Lamb is a great defensive player.
Five-point game, 8.5 minutes remaining. TK, did you expect this kind of fireworks from both Mono and Knights in this game?
Well, we knew that the CLS Knights are always a good team at home, and we know that the Mono Vampire have really changed into a really strong team after their roster changes. So with so much on the line, the playoff chances of both teams, this was really expected to be a game that will go down to the final minutes, and that's proven right so far.
Once again, Mono is on a 3-game winning streak. The Knights, on the other hand, are on a 3-game losing streak. So one streak has to end today. Singletary. Ooh, Mike Singletary, smooth.
And that streak's not ending soon. Already 4 straight triples for Mike Singletary in this game.
Singletary is as cool as they come, scoring that basketball. Talking about scores, here's Maxi Esho. Fortunately, turns the ball over on that possession. Tyler Lamb. His basket is a miss. Jowato left all alone. Jowato could not capitalize. Freddy Lish falls on the floor. But Singletary is right there. Singletary goes to the corner. Moses Morgan. Too strong on his triple attempt. Back and forth we go. No foul called as a collision on Daryl Watkins and Tyler Lamb.
Just going back and forth and back. Sloppy basketball by both teams. Douglas Marty cannot believe the contact by Watkins on Lamb that was not called. Nonetheless, the CLS Knights will get possession of the ball on their side of the court.
Great action so far. Every time a team is trying to pull away, the opposition is right there. Here's that replay. That was what Douglas Barty was complaining. You know, the pace is so fast that our mop boys are here in Gorkha Dajaya have to be careful. You saw in that replay, no time to clean up the mess.
Don't want to be caught in the wrong position.
Jowato uses a screen, but his shot does not fall. Singletary muscles his way inside.
That man just keeps on going. It's just so difficult to stop him once he gains momentum, and he just knows the right angles to put that ball in on a layup.
Watkins to Jowato. Jowato inside. The bang in the bucket for Mr. Brandon Jowato.
Brandon Jowato has been struggling from downtown, only 106 in this game. But once he drives to the basket, good things always happen. And that's a 5th personal foul on Malcolm White.
The crowd is loving it. Not only do they get an N1 play from Jowato, but they get to say goodbye to Mr. Malcolm White. And Malcolm White has been a thorn on the side, not just on the Knights, but actually here in the crowd here in Gorkha Dajaya.
On the Knights and the man at the free throw line. He's just been so important to the CLS Knights. Already 15 points in this game off 3 of 10 shooting. And 7 for 7 from the line. Perfect.
Jowato may be 1 of 7 from deep, as you've mentioned, but he is perfect from the line. And it gives the Knights a 3-point lead, 78 to 75. Foul on Singletary.
And the mistakes continue to pile for the Mono Vampire. Another big call. Travis Romeo. Travis Romeo starting to show his dislike in the calls being made in these 2 consecutive possessions. That's obviously a frustration move by the Mono Vampires, losing control of the ball right there on the court.
And they're huddling right now. You gotta feel for them. They're not on their home floor. The last time they faced this team, they blew them off their own gym. Now they're on the corner. So Mono will be tested for the first time. This new look Mono Vampire will be tested for the first time in the 6.5 minutes to go.
But every team that comes here has to realize that the CLS Knights are a way different team when they're on their home court. They're way more confident. The crowd really gives them a huge boost of energy that they don't get anywhere else. They have to be prepared for that.
Here is Herring. 5 seconds on the shot clock. They go to Watkins. Watkins to Wong Wei Long. He has to put it up. Does he know? He fails to put a shot up. Watkins had a shot there. I didn't think he knew the shot clock was winding down.
So good defense there by the Mono Vampire. Able to keep the deficit at only 5 points. There's still plenty of time, 6 minutes, 15 seconds left in the game. With the firepower that the Mono Vampire have, it's not too far-fetched to see them making a huge run.
We go to Tyler Lamb against Jowato. Tyler Lamb, burst of speed. Foul. A hoop and a harm for Mr. Tyler Lamb. He silences the crowd. What a play.
That is a big, big basket as well.
And this is where the veteran leadership of guys like, as we've been mentioning, Romeo Travis and Tyler Lamb. Tyler Lamb has been in different arenas all across the ABL. He knows what it takes to win. Completes the N1 play. And Mono is now down by only 2. Still a lot of basketball to be played here in Gol Kertajaya. Under 6 minutes remaining. Herring to Watkins. Turnover Knights.
That was a great idea by Douglas Herring. Unable to effectively connect with Daryl Watkins.
They go to Lamb once again. Now it's Travis' turn. Travis, baseline jumper, too strong. Great offensive rebound. It's stolen. Herring, he has one way long. Herring takes it on himself. Put-back slam, Daryl Watkins. Hide the women and children. What a slam from Daryl Watkins.
What a sequence there by the CLS Knights.
And we need a break. Great action so far from these two very entertaining teams. To 78 for the BDN CLS Knights Indonesia. 4-point lead against the streaking Mono Vampire Basketball Club. 5:19 remaining.
And what a swing that was in that last sequence. Travis Romeo missed the shot and Tirawat Chandrajan grabbed an important offensive rebound but unable to bring the ball out properly. A turnover leads to the put-back slam by Daryl Watkins. Only a 6th point in the game, but it's a big one.
And how will Mono Vampire respond? They go to their main gunner, Michael Singletary. He'll take this against 3 defenders. He'll troop to the line. And Travis is trying to put the foul on Mr. Daryl Watkins.
That would have been a big one if it was on Watkins. He's 1 away from his disqualifying 5th foul. Seems to have gone on Maxi Esho instead. Should be a 2nd personal.
What can you say about the 5 so far for Mono? No Malcolm White, and Coach Douglas Martin is going with, so far, of course, they're 5 in the F. Darong Apero and Moses Morgan.
He wants to put a little more speed into his lineup, maybe spread the floor out a little bit. They're not successing in throwing the ball into the paint, and maybe that's what they want to go with.
The starters are for the Knights. Travis wins the battle against Wong Wei Long. Here comes Mono, trying to tie or take the lead. Singletary wants it. Travis all alone, jumper. He ties the game at 82.
After missing all night from that mid-range shot, Travis Romeo finally knocks the one that ties the game in the final stretch.
Tense moments here in Gol Kertajaya. Crowd is momentarily quiet. Watkins cannot get the N1 to go. He hurt himself going down. Wong Wei Long and Maxi Escher right there to pick up their fallen comrade.
And that's something that the Mono Vampire will miss with Malcolm White on the bench. Travis Romeo is not small, and neither is Moses Morgan, but Gerald Watkins just got a little bit bigger when Malcolm White goes to the bench.
So with this lineup, Travis is at the 5. And Singletary and Moses Morgan will share the forward positions. So a different dynamic for Mono. It'll be interesting to see if Coach Douglas Marty will insert Freddy Lish back, Chantachon back in his last 4 minutes.
But fortunately for them, the Steelers Knights have not relied a lot on Gerald Watkins to produce for them. So that's not a lot to lose out. They can counter with spreading the floor on the other end to get their points.
So Mono will again try to take the lead. 1 point game. Singletary, 9 seconds on the shot clock. Apro Vilanchai, 5 seconds. Moses Morgan, straight away, 3. Could not get the lead. Travis is beating for a foul. So the Knights dodged a bullet on that one. Wong Wei Long. He takes a 3. Wow! Wong Wei Long! Falling down and all, knocks down the triple.
Wong Wei Long, 1 for 8 the entire night. 3 points. He has barely made an impact, but this is just the kind of player that Wong Wei Long is. No matter what time it is on the clock, he can just have the confidence to take those big time moments.
And that was a huge turnaround from a 1 point game. Not only do the Mono Vampire give up a 3, they lose the basketball on the other end. This is a very crucial stretch for them.
Teams in the ABL have known of this kind of presence from Wong Wei Long after him playing all these years.
Foul on Travis. He cannot believe it.
Travis continuing to challenge the ref on this call.
A slight bump there, and the ref will call that. Maxi Escher already has 31 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. They're trying to go for 33. Maxi Escher's career high is 42 against the defending champion San Miguel Ala Pilipinas, no less.
I remember that game. That was against late in the season against Ala Pilipinas. Just a great effort trying to carry the Saigon Heat last year. And it's been a great effort here tonight. 31 big points in a crucial game against the Mono Vampire. Trying to add more to his total.
So a 6-point game, 3 minutes remaining. Can the Knights finally end their 3-game losing streak? Freddy Lish with the leather. Lamb. 10 seconds on the shot clock. He takes a 3. Too strong. Travis step. Singletary could not handle the ball. Escher. People are diving on the floor. Foul is called. Gotta love the effort from both these teams.
Again, another wild sequence. Should be a foul on Wong Wei Long.
So Freddy Lish has been reinserted into the lineup these last couple of possessions. He has a great game so far, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. And interestingly, Utomo is back in. So both coaches, Douglas Marty and Coach Byron Rossum, playing a little chess with their lineups.
They've really got to manage their minutes a bit well. Both teams are known to be a bit heavy on their starter rotation.
You see, Otomo is guarding Moses Morgan. Morgan has the size advantage. Morgan fades. Morgan knocks it down.
Crucial point there for Moses Morgan. He's not been doing well from the field in this game.
So immediately right away, they attack Otomo. And on the other end, Wong Wei Long mad at himself because he could not make the N1 play.
This guy, though. Earlier on the loose ball possession, as we said on air that it should have been on Wong Wei Long. Instead, it was on Daryl Watkins, who picked up his 5th personal foul. That's why we saw Febri Utomo coming into the game. So that's more out of necessity from Coach Brian Rosum, instead of choosing to play the small ball. So for the final 2 minutes of the game, we're going to see a more quick-paced back and forth from these two teams.
So no Malcolm White, and as you mentioned, TK, no Daryl Watkins. Wong Wei Long's first shot is a little bit too strong for his liking. The crowd trying to edge him on. And right after this Wong Wei Long free throw, as he misses, you gotta expect the Mono Vampire will try to go to attack Otomo once again. Will they do it here? Yes, they do. It's Moses Morgan. He scored earlier against Otomo. Forces it up. No go. Travis. He goes up without the basketball.
Douglas Herring is just such an expert at swiping those balls away. It's just such a valuable skill that he has.
So on the other end, it's Herring posting up. Foul is called on Lish.
And that is Lish. 4th personal foul.
So good intentions for Mono. They go to Morgan versus Otomo. Capitalize on the first go-around. Could not make the second attempt. Herring gets the first. If you're Mono, do you go with Singletary, you go with Travis, or maximize the mismatch with Moses Morgan against Otomo?
I mean, like the whole game, Singletary, 24 points, 8 for 11 from the field. You just got to keep going to what works. Despite whoever's covering him, no one's been able to stop him. And it's just kind of weird that in these 2 successive possessions, they haven't gone to him.
So timeout on the floor. They'll have to talk things over. 6-point game, 90-84 in favor of the Knights. Back inside here in Gorkar Tajaya. If you've just joined us, TK filled them in on what has been an exciting game.
It's just been a great back and forth by both teams. Despite making big shots, they've just been trading them back and forth. No one's been able to gain a complete handle of the outcome. CLS Knights, though, have built up a 6-point run by just capitalizing on Wong Wei Long's big 3-pointer a little bit earlier.
And right before we went to break, we were thinking about Mono's offensive possessions. Will they go to Singletary this time?
They go instead to Travis Romeo.
Travis delivers.
And they're applying the full court press as well in the final minute and 30 seconds of the game.
Jawato up, misses the layup. Tyler Lamb, oh, that is a sorry miss.
And that is going to hurt for the Mono Vampire. Still plenty of time, 1 minute and only 4-point lead, but that's gonna sting.
Could have cut the lead to 2. Instead, they will have to defend. Douglas Herring, 7 seconds on the shot clock. He has to make his move, spins. Herring, step back. Escher with a rebound, Escher blocked. Great block.
And the story of the game, offensive boards, 2 back-to-back big ones by the CLS Knights.
Wong Wei Long is fouled by Tyler Lamb.
And the Mono Vampire, this is just all on them in these 2 possessions. Tyler Lamb missing the layup, then missing out on 2 offensive boards. There's just no one else to blame here but themselves for not boxing out better.
And now you miss Malcolm White. I believe you miss Malcolm White, you miss his presence. So Wong Wei Long makes the first.
If you're the Mono Vampire, though, you really need this win, especially with the games coming up. They still have games against the Hong Kong Eastern. They have a game against Ala Pilipinas. That's a rough schedule.
Oh, beautiful answer from Mono.
They are not down yet. They are not down yet. 2 more points and another chance to add in to make this a 1-possession game.
That was a defensive lap from the Knights.
He seemed a little bit too chilled. You just can't give a moment. You just can't give an inch to the Mono Vampire with just a 6-point lead.
Morgan completes the N1 play. So it is a 3-point game. Hold on to your seats, folks. We have a 3-point game, 30 seconds remaining. The Knights have a 92-89 lead. .30 seconds here in Gorkar Tajaya. Will the Knights finally put an end to their losing streak? And will they hand Mono Vampire, this new look Mono Vampire, its first defeat?
Just gotta get a good clear inbound there.
Where do the Knights go in this possession? Herring has 6 seconds on the shot clock. Loses the basketball. Tyler Lamb takes the 3. Oh, misses.
What a gamble there by Tyler Lamb. Fortunately for him, they still end up with the possession.
Do you love that shot by Tyler Lamb?
That was a big, big gamble. They were down by 3. There was plenty of time for another defensive stop, but that's the confidence that Tyler Lamb has, I guess.
Here we go, 10 seconds. Lamb. Secretary open.
5 for 5.
Moses Morgan ties the game, 92-92. We will stay right here. That was a beautiful shot from Michael Singletary. That extra possession really made the difference. We talked about the rebounding all game, and then in that last sequence, Mono was able to get the rebound.
Yeah, but it started from them being able to pressure Douglas Herring into that turnover. Douglas Herring just needed to get a clear shot off. Instead, he turned the ball over. It turned into a shot by Tyler Lamb. They got control of the ball. It's a great pass out from Travis Romeo to Michael Singletary, who has yet to miss a single shot.
It is gut check time here in Gor Kertajaya. Herring with inbound with 2.7 seconds left. For the win! Esho! No go! And we are headed to 5 more minutes here in Gor Kertajaya. 92-92. What a defensive play from Mono Vampire. Both teams are pleading their case to the referees. Should there have been a foul called? Should there have been a travel called?
Whatever the case, so that was a good set by Coach Brian Rosen to get his team in the best opportunity to get the win. Utomo missed out the layup. And another offensive rebound with the Knights, but nonetheless, we're tied here at 92, heading into overtime.
Indonesia. 40 minutes were not enough to determine a winner. We need overtime. TGN CLS Knights Indonesia 92, Mono Vampire Basketball Club 92. Yoyo Sarmeta on the mic. Sajatam TK Kosambun. TK, recap the first exhilarating 40 minutes of basketball so far.
It was down to the wire, and they just kept trading shots back and forth, and what a difference 30 seconds can make. CLS Knights had a 6-point lead with 30 seconds left. Moses Morgan drove in for the and one. Turnover by Douglas Herring, a 3-pointer by Singletary later, and here we are, 5 more minutes of free basketball.
Here we go. Herring draws first blood.
Great drive by Douglas Herring. He wants the foul, but right now what counts is those 2 points from the free-up.
Travis answers right back. So in case you missed it, no Darryl Watkins, no Malcolm White. Both players have fouled out. Here is Utomo, left hand. layup is good.
Making up for that missed attempt at the end of regulation. His first 2 points of the game. Gabriel coming up big. And the defense of the CLS Knights starting to pick up.
Here we go, Herring. Wong Wei Long tries a three. Right between the eyes. Wong Wei Long.
The former Singapore assassin. Now hitting his big shots for the CLS Knights.
Singletary to Travis. Another time Travis went up without the leather.
And how many times is he going to get picked off by Douglas Herring? Just those quick hands swiping up. Getting the ball out of Travis Romeo's hand. He doesn't like it, but that's the way the game's been called the entire night. He can't be frustrated after 40 minutes of that already.
After that booming triple from Wong Wei Long, it's a 5-point game, 99-94, 3.5 to go. Travis, bully ball. Offensive foul. Travis got to be careful.
He's still safe with 3 personal fouls, but the refs saw that coming. I mean, Travis Romeo, he had a hot head going into that possession. He was trying to back down Maxi Esho. Easy bait for him. And Maxi Esho, just great defensive stance.
Travis is actually 3-0 since joining the team, so this is a great test for him. The first time he's been tested, actually.
On defense, Mono Vampire have got to watch out of Mike Singletary as well. 4 personal fouls. He's taking up Brandon Jawato right now.
Herring to Jawato. Brandon Jawato extends the lead, 102-94. This crowd is going nuts.
Bring that ass back like a boom, 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 boom.
It has been all BTN CLS Knights Indonesia here in the early moments of the overtime. 10-2, they have outscored Mono Vampire. What has been working for them so far, TK?
Well, as we were talking at halftime, their offensive weapon is the three-point shooting, and we've seen that pick up in the final moments of the game, both in regulation and here in overtime, and that's why they've been able to command an 8-point lead with 2 minutes left in the game.
Singletary. He is fouled. So if you're Mono, don't need to panic just yet. I know it's an 8-point game, but still 2:40 remaining. And as we've talked about earlier, they were down by 6, down dead for the water. And slowly but surely, they chipped away the lead and was able to tie the game.
And with a guy like Michael Singletary, there's no need to panic at all. This guy can score. You just got to lock it down on defense. They can't give up any more offensive boards. 20 offensive boards for the CLS Knights already in this game. That's the side of the court that they need to really focus on, just locking it down on defense, stopping the Knights from getting their points on that end.
Michael Singletary goes 2 for 2. 102-96, 2:40 remaining. Herring is hobbled by Moses Morgan. Herring makes his move. Slices his way. Foul on Morgan.
This guy, though, Douglas Herring, just doing a little bit of everything. 23 points, 9 of 18 from the field, 6 rebounds, 11 assists, 5 steals, just an all-around line. And that's just something that he puts in and night out for the CLS Knights.
And you saw there, it was Moses Morgan defending Douglas Herring. And throughout tonight, it was actually it's been Tyler Lamb versus Herring. And Herring sort of let up when he saw Moses Morgan on the switch.
That's still anything that the Mono Vampires have tried to throw on Douglas Herring. It hasn't worked out very well, except on that final possession at the end of regulation. But he's just been so difficult to stop.
So Douglas Herring pushes the lead back up, 103-96. Lamb from deep, too strong. Esho, rebound. Darongpan fights his way against Esho. Great hustle from Darongpan Apero Vilanchay.
Great hustle by the Mono Vampire, not giving up despite Esho already corralling the defensive board. As we said, they have the urgency. They know that this is a very, very big game. They forced their way into overtime already, and they're not ready to back down.
Coach Douglas Moore is still pleading his case.
They're trying to ask for the shot clock to be reset to 24, I think, because as their case is that Maxi Esho already grabbed the defensive rebound. It was in CLS Knights' possession. Unless it seems to stand at only 14 seconds on their side.
So 2:07, shot clock at 14 as you've mentioned. Singletary versus Otomo. Singletary, back to Travis. Travis. So a 5-point game, under 2 minutes remaining. Tyler Lamb playing too close to Douglas Herring.
And that will be 4 on Tyler Lamb. It's going to send Doug Herring to the line.
If you're Mono, who would you want against Douglas Herring? Or rather, how would you defend? You know that the ball will go to Douglas Herring. How will you defend it?
At this point, I'd try to bring Freddie Lish back into the game and just see how he would fit. I think he has the quickness to stay in front of Herring. I know he has 4 fouls, but they've tried Lamb. They've tried Moses Morgan at this point. I don't think Herring is feeling the presence of the size of Lamb and Morgan. I just feel like the quickness of Freddie Lish might be more beneficial on that defensive end compared to those two.
So Herring knocks down both. Morgan against Otomo. Turnover by Moses Morgan. Darongpan falls. Wong Wei Long squeezes away. What a recovery from Apero Vilanchay. Morgan goes up. Misses. Morgan again. He is fouled. And he'll troop to the line. So the points have mostly come from the free throw line from both Mono and the Knights.
Yeah, but good recovery by Mono Vampires. Both players, Darongpan Apero Vilanchay fell down on the ankle breaker, but got the block. Moses Morgan missed the layup, got his rebound, and will go to the line for 2 free throws. It's just this kind of mentality that they need to get a comeback. Able to stop the clock, able to put points on the board. Missed there by Morgan.
Moses Morgan, first year as a local for Mono Vampire, a longtime member of the Saigon Heat. He is being tested at the line right now. Goes 1 for 2. 6-point game. Can the Knights add on?
Singletary.
Dangerous.
Singletary on Douglas Herring right now.
Esho breaks away. Esho scooping layup, no go. Mono has to hurry. Michael Singletary loses the leather.
Good transition defense there by Febri Utomo on Michael Singletary, and he knows that he missed out on that one.
A minute remaining. Don't go away. It's still a 6-point game in favor of the Knights. Minute to go here in overtime. It's a 6-point game. 105-99 in favor of the BTN CLS Knights Indonesia. They're looking to snap their 3-game skid and hoping to hand Mono Vampire its first loss in 4 games. And if you're Mono, you've been here earlier in regulation, it was a 6-point deficit. What do you need to do in this final minute?
It's on defense that they're not able to finish it out. They got to play better defense, stay in front of the guy handling the ball. Just can't foul Douglas Herring there. Tyra Lamb on the main man.
Here it is. Here that matchup. Darong Pan Fred double team. It's Singletary and Wong Wei Long. Wong Wei Long, gutsy shot. No go. Time is not on the side of Mono Vampire. 30 seconds. No need to foul if you're Mono. Herring goes up. This is on the gimme. He's still talking to the refs. Now it's Moses Morgan, Maxi Escher drawing at each other.
Teammates from last season. I think the inbound pass by the Mono Vampire was picked up there, but it's just a confusing sequence there in the final seconds.
So crazy sequence. To recap, it was a 3-pointer by Lamb, cut it to 6. I cut it to 3 rather.
And Douglas Herring just split the way after that 3-point.
Resulted to another dunk from Esho. And as Esho was delivering that sledgehammer, Mono was still beating it. 5 seconds, Singletary will just take a 3, misses, and that will do it. BTN CLS Knights Indonesia 109, Mono Vampire Basketball Club 102 in overtime. It was a crazy finish.
Just the CLS Knights just showing their composure and starting overtime session with strongly with 2 back-to-back threes from Wong Wei Long and Brandon Jawato. It's just a matter of them closing out the game strongly.
Once again, your final 109-102. BTN CLS Knights Indonesia get their 10th win. They are 10-10, and Mono is now 5-13. Their 3-game winning streak has been abruptly stopped by this Knights squad.
It's going to be a tough stretch for the Mono Vampire from here. This was an important game that they needed for their playoff hopes. They're going up against Ala Pilipinas next at home on the 23rd of February. CLS Knights with a big win on their return home, much to the delight of their fans. Entertaining game from start to finish.
It wasn't that it was just a close game, but it was a very physical, very intense, up to the very last second. Both players, even former teammates Maxi Esho and Moses Morgan, joining at each other. What does this kind of win bring to the Knights?
Well, the Knights, they just showed that they really wanted this game. The offensive rebounds, especially in that possession, in that final possession, they just clawed their way to get the ball. It opened up a wide open dunk for Maxi Esho to get those 2 extra points. to solidify their victory. They just showed that they wanted it more in this game. And right now, the CLS Knights celebrating their win. We'll go down to the courtside interview.
All right, Esho, 37 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. What is it about Surabaya and Air that gets you this win tonight?
I couldn't tell you. I think it's the fans. It got to be the fans, man. I couldn't tell you what it is. The only thing I can say is the fans, man, and the Air Surabaya.
Absolutely. What was
must be the equator.
Hey, what was most challenging about Mono Vampires, a team? What was most challenging about Mono Vampires, a team that you have to face tonight?
I mean, they got a big roster. They got, I mean, a big bench, a lot of depth in their team, and they got multiple shooters and guys that can make plays. So it's hard to cover everyone and focus everybody. We had to just be disciplined as a team.
Okay. You've got about 8 days until your next game in Vietnam.
Yeah.
What will you and your squad be working on till then?
Get some rest, rest our bodies because we've been playing a lot of games back to back. We just had 1 day between this game. So just resting and mentally getting focused and ready for Vietnam.
Anyways, congratulations on a great rest.
Thank you so much.
And there you have it. Joe and TK, back to you guys here at Golkarta Jaya. ABL action, live coming at you.
Thank you very much for that interview. Maxi Esho, the man in the middle, scored a lot of points for the CNS Knights.
Yeah, it was a great performance, and those 2 dunks to solidify their win really put the nail in the coffin for the CLS Knights against the Mono Vampire.
You know, that was a crazy sequence right in the end game, but let's not take away how the Knights played in that overtime.
It was just urgency. They knew that they should not have let the Mono Vampire come back into the game in the first place. They came out into the overtime session knowing that they needed to pull away, and they successfully did so. For their playoff hopes. This is a great win by the CLS Knights. Mono Vampire, they've got to go back home. There's a lot of homework to do. They've got to handle their fouls a bit more carefully. They got to box out more. It's just a lot of work coming out off of this loss.
And now we'll do it here in Golkarta Jaya in Surabaya, Indonesia. The home team, BDN CLS Knights Indonesia, get their 10th win. They're now 10-10 with a 109-102 victory against the Mono Vampire Basketball Club, winning in overtime. Very entertaining contest. This has been Yoyo Sarmenta for my partner, TK Kosamboom, and entire ABL family. And we bid you good night from Golkarta Jaya.
So again, a very important win by the CLS Knights here. And as you saw there was a bit of a confusing sequence by both teams, but nothing to take away. Both teams put in a great effort. The Mono Vampire, they fought back into the game. Just a great effort all around by Travis Romeo. Almost had a triple-double. Mike Singletary didn't miss a shot from the three-point line until that last shot. This is a great game, and these 2 teams are going to be fighting furiously for those final playoff spots.
And what will this win do if you're the CLS Knights, and what does this kind of loss, a big overtime loss, do for the Mono Vampire moving forward from a team standpoint, coaching standpoint, player standpoint?
Well, this is the kind of confidence booster that the CLS Knights needed, and Mono Vampire, I feel like this is also something that they needed to keep grounded after that 3-game winning streak, after the roster changes. So I think that they will improve off of this game, both teams.
All right, that will do it here in Golkarta Jaya. Once again, your final 109-102 in overtime. The Knights take this one, their 10th victory. And from my partner, Sajutan Chike Kosamboon, and the rest of the ABL family, this has been Yoyo Sarmena, and we bid you good night from Golkarta Jaya.